On this episode of Mixin' Some Magic, we are talking about visiting Disneyland during the summer. Is it worth it? Is it more crowded? Is it hot? What about Grad Nites? How's that going to affect your trip? How about the new Pixar Fest? What do you need to know about that? We're talking about it all on this episode.
Hi, I'm Melissa with Mixin' Some Magic. I'm a Disney planning expert and I'm here to mix a little magic into your day. Each week I share Disney vacation planning tips, park strategies, and a little bit of Disney history sprinkled in. Of course, I like to include lots of Disney magic. Join me, let's mix in some magic.
Hello and welcome. I'm so happy that you're here. I hope you're doing great. I am doing awesome, I think. I don't know. I just was asking you how you were, and then I was like, how am I doing? And I'm like, good, I guess. I should cut all this out. Ugh. Bad intro. Oh dear. What are you going to do? They can't all be great. I think we're going to just chalk this up to a bad one. But anyway, I hope you're doing good. I'm doing good. We're just getting the yard ready to go for summertime. I need to get out there and start thinking about planting my garden because I have a lot of things I want to plant. And then I'm going to regret planting them probably at some point because I'll have too many tomatoes and all the things. But right now I'm feeling kind of excited about it. So got to get out there and get the garden ready to go. If you are planning on visiting Disneyland during the summer or anytime really, did you know I have a full guide to each month of the year on my website? So I have a full guide to May, full guide to June, full guide to July. You get the picture. Full guide means there is information on ride closures. There's a crowd calendar. There's a packing list. There's information on weather. There's tips, tricks, that kind of thing. So if you are visiting Disneyland and want to know more specific information about the month that you are visiting, head over to my website. I'll put a link down in the show notes, and in the search bar, just search for whatever month you're visiting and information will pop up. So right now I have a crowd calendar on there for every month of the year, but Disneyland doesn't announce their ride closure information until 6 weeks in advance. So I'm not able to update like ride closures 6 months in advance because we just don't have that information. But I do update it as soon as I get it, as soon as it's available. Then I put it over on that post so that you know what rides are going to be closed for your visit. So definitely take a look at that. You're going to want that information for your trip because it's better to go into your vacation knowing what rides are going to be open and what rides are going to be closed than having that be a surprise. That's kind of like a stinky, sad surprise if you find out your favorite ride is closed, where a little forewarning might make you feel a bit better. This summer is going to be so much fun at Disneyland because of Pixar Fest. Pixar Fest kicks off April 26th and runs through August 4th, so it lasts a really long time. And if you're visiting Disneyland during the summer, you get to experience it. It's going to be so much fun. So there's a few things that are happening with Pixar Fest that are extra special. There is the Together Forever, a Pixar Nighttime Spectacular. So this is happening over at Disneyland. It's just a fireworks show on nights that they have fireworks. On nights that they don't, it'll be a projection show, but they'll have music and fun. You're going to love it. So even if you're not there when they're doing fireworks, definitely check out the projections because it is worth your time. That's going to be fun. They are having a Better Together Pixar Pals Celebration Parade, the daytime parade that is happening over in California Adventure. That's going to be pretty cool. I love a good parade. And I really love parades over at California Adventure Park because the parade route there is so long, you don't have to get there as early to get a good spot. There's lots of space, everyone can spread out, and there's just more places to get a really good view. So I love that. There is Club Pixar over in Hollywoodland where they're going to be having dance parties. There's the Pixar Pals Playtime Party, which is really hard to say, over at the Fantasyland Theater. They're just going to have some little Pixar shorts showing and some music playing and little arts and crafts for the kids, which will be pretty cool. Of course, they're going to have all kinds of Pixar characters out and about, like the Incredibles and characters from Toy Story and Inside Out and all of that. Then beginning May 10th, they're going to have some marketplace food stations over in California Adventure Park that are all going to have menus inspired by Pixar stories, which I think sounds like so much fun. So they've got all kinds of different things that you'll be able to purchase. There's also going to be little Pixar flavors. I don't know how to word it. Pixar flavors sprinkled throughout lots of different restaurants around the Disneyland Resort as a part of the Pixar Fest celebration. So like over at Troubadour Tavern, they're going to have a little novelty popcorn pretzel mix that you can buy inspired by Pixar. They're going to have a Pixar inspired pizza over at Alien Pizza Planet and something at Flo's V8 Cafe. All kinds of things. There is also a parade viewing dining package for the Pixar. Oh gosh, here we go. I can say it. The Better Together, a Pixar Pals Celebration Parade. Why do they name things like this? Why can't, I don't, who comes up with these names? That's what I want to know. Anyway, they have a dining package for that. If you're interested in having a dining package, you can check that out. And then they're going to have tons of merchandise. Of course, tons and tons of merchandise. Disney does merchandise really, really well. And I think it's going to be fun. If you have never been to Disneyland before and you just show up this summer and did the whole Disneyland thing and didn't even know it was Pixar Fest, my guess is you probably still wouldn't even know. It's not like you would show up and be like, oh my gosh, what's happening here? What is all this? I think it's just going to kind of blend in with the normal Disney-ish atmosphere. And people are going to enjoy it, whether they love Pixar or not. So if you visit often, this is going to be kind of a fun little change, a fun little different thing that's happening for the summer. If you don't visit, you're probably not even going to really notice the difference. So it's going to be fun. I'm going to be there checking it out in a couple of weeks. So that should be very fun. I can't wait. Another thing that's happening at Disneyland, if you're visiting during the summer, or at least if you're visiting in May and June, is Grad Night. Now, I don't know if Grad Night is as exciting as Pixar Fest. Maybe if you're a grad, then yes. But if you're not, it can be a little stressful. So I have visited Disneyland quite a few times when a Grad Night was happening. And the first time we were there as a family, I had young kids, and I found out it was a grad night, and I was so stressed and worried about it. It was like, what in the world is this going to do to our vacation? Grad night? That sounds scary. It sounds like there's going to be a bunch of hooligans running around the park, pushing people into trash cans and like knocking over popcorn stands and throwing things and being totally out of control. That's what I pictured in my mind. Because, worst case scenario, I always like to go there, but that is not what happened at all. So I've been lots of times on a grad night, and I haven't had any trouble with any of the kids. No one's pushed me into a garbage can. No one spilled my popcorn. Nothing like that. In fact, I've chatted with a lot of the kids that are graduating, and they've all been really great. So if you are visiting on a grad night, don't panic. Is what I'm saying. It's going to be a little more crowded, yes, but it's not like it's going to be out of control and you're going to have a terrible trip. These grads can only come to grad night if their school is going, so it's not like they can just show up at Disneyland and be like, hey, I'm a graduating senior, I want to buy a grad night ticket. That's not how it works. Their school has to purchase these tickets and then sell them to the grads, and they have to provide chaperones for the students, so they're there with chaperones, and it's much more controlled than I had it in my mind. So what will happen is, depending on what ticket the grad's school purchases, they might just have tickets to one park for the day and then go to the grad night, which happens over at California Adventure Park when the party starts, or maybe they have a park hopper. Just kind of depends on what ticket they purchase. But you're going to notice that the parks are going to feel a little more crowded, especially in the afternoon, usually over at Disneyland, because since the grads have free reign, full access, just pick whichever descriptive words you like best and put them in that sentence. Since they have the parks all to themselves, over in California Adventure, once the party starts, then a lot of them like to spend their time at Disneyland so that then they can switch over to DCA when the party begins. So it's going to feel a little more crowded over at Disneyland than normal until the party starts, and then it will kind of clear out. And then, good news is on Grad Nights, a lot of people will leave early anyway, because once they fill those Grad Night crowds with a lot of people there with all the kids, then they're like, this is too much, and they leave, and then the grads leave, and then it's a pretty nice night over at Disneyland. So keep that in mind. It's probably not going to be as bad as you believe it will be, but it will be a little bit more crowded. So let's talk about Grad Nights, the dates for 2024. They are May 10th, 14th, 15th, 17th, 19th, 22nd, 23rd, 28th, and 31st. So like I said, if you're visiting in May, there's probably a pretty good chance you're going to be hitting a Grad Night. In June, they are happening June 2nd, 5th, 7th, 9th, 12th, and 14th. So if you have flexibility on your dates, then it's not a terrible idea to pick a night that's not a Grad Night. If you don't, then that's okay. Don't worry about it. Let's talk about some tips, though, for maximizing your time. If you are going to be visiting on a Grad Night, arrive early. That is a good one. Teens like to sleep in, and a lot of their schools are not, they don't arrive until a bit later in the morning, later in the afternoon. So definitely rope shopping, getting there early, and getting in some of those bigger rides before the Grad Night guests arrive is a good idea. Using Genie Plus is also a good idea. It's going to be probably like your best friend on a Grad Night because you can really maximize your time if you know how to use it. I know I say that all the time. If you don't know how to use it, go back a few episodes and listen to my podcast about using Genie Plus. That will be helpful. If you have a park hopper, then go to California Adventure first because the grads with the hoppers, they're going to go to Disneyland first, like I said. So if you have a park hopper, California Adventure first, do all that. And once it starts feeling crowded with the grads, hop on over to Disneyland. If you don't have a park hopper, I would definitely book Disneyland for the whole day if you want to stay past 9 p.m. because that's what time they ask everybody to leave California Adventure for the Grad Night party to begin. So if you want to stay later than that, then make Disneyland your one and only park for the day. Another tip that I have never had to use, but I think it's worth noting, is if you see a teen who isn't behaving suitably, then notify a cast member because there are behavior guidelines that these teens have agreed to when they visit Grad Night. They're expected to uphold these guidelines, and if they're not, definitely notify a cast member and they can help you out. Okay, I hope those tips helped a little bit. If you're going to Pixar Fest, so exciting, so fun. If you're going to Grad Night, as a grad, how exciting. I think that sounds like so much fun. If you're going, just happening to be there on a Grad Night, it will be fine. You're still going to be fine. You're going to have a good time. Don't stress about it too much. Don't forget our podcast review drive as part of my birthday celebration in April. I am begging for reviews, shamelessly begging for reviews. It helps people find my podcast. That's how my podcast grows. Without reviews, then nothing happens. And that's so sad. So I am doing a little review drive, and anyone who leaves a review for the month of April is entered to win one of two $50 Disney gift cards. There's still time to enter. I can't wait to give away these Disney gift cards. So if you have not left a review, please do. Please, please. Like I said, I'm begging you. Now, if you're listening to this and April's over, the review drive is done, contest is over, please still leave a review. It still helps me out. I know it's like a huge hassle because it takes time out of your day. I totally get that. I know, believe me, I get that. But it is so appreciated, and I will love you forever. So thank you so much to everyone who has left reviews. You are the best. I wish you could leave reviews on all platforms. There's only certain ones that allow you to leave written reviews. But if you're listening on Apple, that's for sure one that you can leave a written review. So thank you so much. You guys are the best. All right, we still have so much more to talk about visiting Disneyland in the summer. Lots of information, tips, tricks. Oh, I have some things to say. Okay, but let's take a quick break. We'll get into it when we get back. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Mix in Some Magic. Making dinner is the worst. I absolutely hate deciding what to make for dinner each and every night. It's so time consuming, and then I have to unthaw the meat, and I have to prep everything, and then I have to cook it. It takes me forever. I'm over it. My family is also trying really hard to make healthier choices and eat more protein. And honestly, cooking a protein for dinner each night is tricky. It's hard for me. It's time consuming, and it's been a struggle. But luckily, I have found a solution. Just Meats. Just Meats is an amazing service that ships quality protein to your front door. So the meat arrives fully cooked and ready to use. All you have to do is reheat it, and you're on your way. Dinner is done. Boom. Congratulations. They have really great options like smoked Texas brisket, slow-cooked pulled pork, Texas rubbed chicken thighs, beef tri-tip, and more. It only takes a few minutes to heat up, and you're ready to go. I add a side dish like rice and a veggie, and then we have a healthy, high-protein dinner that didn't take me hours to make and that I didn't have to stress out about. It's so much healthier than fast food, cheaper than fast food, so we're saving money. We're eating healthier, and we're getting high-quality protein, which is really important to my family. It's been a game changer, and I think that you are going to love it too. So I'll put a link in the show notes, and you can check them out. You can also use my code JustMelissaH for $20 off your first purchase. Getting Just Meats delivered to our house has been a huge lifestyle upgrade for us. We're eating healthier. It's delicious. And no more stressing about what to make for dinner. I can't emphasize how happy that makes me. I think you're going to love them too. Check them out. There's a link in the show notes. Ads are a pain in the butt. I really don't like them, but unfortunately, they are a necessary evil when you run a podcast. If you're listening to the ad and affiliate supported version of Mix in Some Magic, thank you. Your support helps keep Mix in Some Magic running. If you're listening to the ad-free version on Patreon, thank you as well. Your monthly support is so appreciated and helps me with equipment costs, editing software, research materials for the show, and more. If you're interested in becoming a Patreon supporter, I'll put a link in the show notes. There's several membership options with the lowest being $5 a month. All Patreon supporters are invited to attend our monthly Disney book club as well. So come and join us. All right, that's enough of that. Let's get back to the episode. Okay, we're back. Have you ever considered visiting Disneyland during the summer? Or are you visiting Disneyland during the summer this year? If so, there's some things that we need to talk about. I have traditionally avoided Disneyland in the summer whenever possible because it is really hot and it's more crowded. But not so much the crowds that bother me is the heat. I struggle in the heat and it can be a little rocky. So I don't visit Disneyland during the summer if I can help it. But that being said, sometimes that's just the best time to go. That just works out best. That's what's happening for me this year. I want to get a visit in at some point in the next couple of months for some things I need to cover. And it's just going to work out that I need to be there in the summer. And that's okay. I still can have a great time in the summer. And I have a lot of tips and tricks for staying cool, which I use all of them. So we're going to talk about it all. But a lot of people ask me, is it worth going to Disneyland in the summer? And my answer is yes, especially if that's the only time you can go. If that is what works best for your family because you don't have to worry then about taking kids out of school, then for sure, visit Disneyland during the summer. Just know that it's going to be hot, so you're going to need to be prepared for that, and it's going to be crowded. But like I said, Disneyland's always crowded these days. one of the good things about visiting in the summer is they have extended park hours. So the park is going to be open later than it normally is, and it will often open earlier than it does at other times during the year. And this is great news because even though the parks are more crowded, you have more hours to experience the parks, which kind of helps balance it out. So we're going to talk about, tips for dealing with the crowds and stuff like that in a few minutes. But if that is the best time for you and that's what works for you, then do it. Go. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be hot, but it's also going to be amazing and you're still going to have a really great time. One thing I did want to mention though, if you're visiting in the summer, it's a super popular time to visit. So you're going to want to plan ahead. The sooner you can book your hotel, your tickets, that kind of thing, the better, especially with hotels because you're going to save money. Hotels like it when you book earlier, so they have lower rates when you're booking farther out. If you're booking 2 days before your vacation, you're going to pay higher rates. Plus, if you book in advance, then you're going to have more options, which I really like. I like to have my choice of hotels instead of being like, oh my gosh, everything is booked up and I have one choice and it's not where I wanted to stay. So definitely book in advance, as far in advance as possible, especially for your hotel, so that you can have the one that you want and you can pay a lower price. I'm going to put a link in the show notes with a bunch of hotel information from my website. I'm going to share links with like the cheapest hotels with bunk beds, hotels within walking distance. I'm going to put them all on there so that you can kind of figure out which hotel will work best for you because there's some really, really great options. Of course, I recommend you book with my travel partners at Getaway Today because they are the best. They're the #1 ticket provider to the Disneyland Resort. They partner with hotels all around the Disneyland Resort to bring you lower rates. So hotels love them, and they often save some of their best rooms for Getaway Today guests. So when you book through Getaway Today, you're going to get the best deal on your park tickets. You're going to get the best deal on your hotel. You're going to get amazing customer service, and you're saving money. So they are a small business. They're a family-run company, which I absolutely love because you're going to save money when you book through them. Plus, you're supporting a small business, which when you're booking through Costco or Theme Park Frog or any place like that, these are huge corporations. They don't care if you book with them. You're not really helping them out. But when you book with Getaway Today, you're supporting a small family-owned business. I've been to their offices. They are just the greatest people, and their employees are all amazing, and they really care about your vacation. Don't want to hurt your feelings, but Costco doesn't care about your vacation. But Getaway Today does. So definitely check them out. I'll put a link in the show notes, or you can call them at 855-GETAWAY. Just tell them Mix in Some Magic sent you for the very best rates. And if you book a package with a hotel, which is what I recommend because it's going to save you the most money, you can use my code MIX10 to save an extra $10. Okay, one of the most important things about visiting Disneyland during the summer is choosing the right dates. Because it's crowded, we already talked about that. We know it's crowded, but there are times in the summer where it is more crowded and times where it's a little less crowded. Earlier in the summer, I feel like is a little less crowded than later in the summer. So if you were to go the very beginning of June, it's going to be less hot and it's probably going to be a little less crowded. There are a lot of schools who don't get out until the first or second week of June. So you kind of miss some of the biggest crowds if you travel earlier in the summer. If you visit during the 4th of July, it's going to be a lot more crowded because people have that day off of work. So they'll combine it with their vacation so they can take less vacation time. And you know what I mean? So it's just going to be more crowded around the 4th of July. Any other holidays that are happening in the summer, it's going to be more crowded. That's just how it works. So if you can avoid major holidays, anytime you're visiting Disneyland, that is going to help out. Now, as the summer winds down, you're going to find lower crowds too. So mid-August is probably going to be a lower crowd time to visit just because people are starting back to school. They've already done their summer vacations. Parents are kind of switching their mindset from summer vacation to we're going back to school, and they're not traveling as much. So very mid-August, before Halloween kicks off, August 23rd, I think would be a lower crowd time than, say, July. Gonna be hot, though. August is very hot. Which brings me to beating the heat, because, man, I have tried a lot of different things. I just struggle when it's really, really hot. I have an autoimmune disease, and the heat really can be hard for me to deal with. So I've had to learn some tips and tricks to make that easier for me. Obviously, number one is dressing comfortably. Please don't wear jeans to Disneyland in the summer. Oh my gosh, just saying it makes me feel so hot. Don't do it. Wear light clothing. Wear something comfortable. I prefer to wear sandals. I have these Croc sandals that I love. They're super supportive. I can walk all day, all night in them. They don't bother my feet, and I stay cooler if I'm wearing sandals rather than tennis shoes. But they are really supportive. So if you can wear sandals, it might make you less hot. It does me at least. Sunscreen is huge. You need to wear sunscreen, like so much sunscreen. Please put on so much sunscreen. Light colored clothing, they say makes a difference. I feel like when you're hot though. I don't know if it really makes a difference. That's what they say though, so I always try to go with it. I mean, it can't hurt, right? I also have an umbrella that I bring that is specifically made for sun. I mean, it would keep the rain off of me too, but it has some UV protection. And there are some points at Disneyland where there is just no shade. And I kind of just start melting at that point. And so I will pull out this umbrella. It's a compact size. It's really easy to carry around. I just got it on Amazon. And I will use that to create my own shade, which really helps me as well. Staying hydrated, so important. We've all heard it, but turns out it's true. People aren't just saying that. It's actually really important. So carry a water bottle with you. Disneyland, of course, sells water bottles, but I think they're like $5. They're so expensive. I don't ever buy their water. I usually bring a water bottle with me. I like to fill it up with ice and water, and like as much ice as it will hold. And then I'll drink the water. And then I just get the free water cups from quick service restaurants and fill it up using that. It works out really well. They also have water bottle refilling stations you can use, drinking fountains. I do buy Diet Coke in the parks. That helps too. That keeps you hydrated, I feel like, right? There's nothing wrong with Diet Coke. You still drink water, but you can work in some soda too. But don't forget about free ice water. They usually have it in the summer. They have it ready to go, so you can just walk up and they'll hand it to you, which is really nice. Utilizing air-conditioned attractions and shows and restaurants is a lifesaver for me. So when I'm there in the summer, I know which rides are indoors. I know which shows I can sit down in the shade and that kind of thing, and I will save those for the afternoon when I know it's going to be the very hottest and I know I'm going to be struggling the very most. So there is no way in the world I would go wait for Peter Pan at 3 p.m. in the summer because that line has no shade. It's super long. I mean, people do it. I see people there 3 p.m. waiting for 45 minutes in the sun. I can't do that. That's way too much for me. I would probably die. So I would never do that. I try to time my rides during the summer so that I know I can stay inside and cooler. So rides like Pirates of the Caribbean or Haunted Mansion, It's a Small World, all those rides provide a break from the sun, and their lines are usually shady, or I use a Genie Plus for them to get through them quicker. There's also shows like Mickey's PhilharMagic over in DCA. That is a great place to go. Or the Enchanted Tiki Room. I'll go get a Dole Whip and sit in there. That kind of thing helps me a ton and makes a huge difference. So I plan my day accordingly so I'm not standing in crazy line. I don't often do dining reservations at Disneyland because there's so many great quick service options. But if I'm going to be there in the summer, I do like to snag a dining reservation for later in the day, usually around like 2 or 3. When I know it's going to be hot and I know that then I can go sit down somewhere air conditioned and just hang out and relax, have a meal, and take a break from the heat. So I think that is very valuable in the summer. Another thing that I usually don't do, but I will in the summer, is leave the parks in the middle of the day for a break, because it gets so hot. I know I've said that a lot of times. It gets so hot. And taking a break to go back to your hotel and lay down in the air conditioning and take a shower, because you're going to be sweaty, like really, really, really sweaty. Oh, it's so gross. Or go swim in the pool. Shower first. Shower all your sweaty off before you get in the pool, though, because that's gross. Those kinds of things make a big difference. So if I head back to the hotel and stay there from 3 till 5:30, that really, really helps me. And then I can go back. I can have dinner. It's cooling down. The crowds are thinning out, because there's people who will stick it out all day. And, like, God bless them. I can't usually do that in the summer. Any other time, I'm totally fine. But in the summer, sometimes I just can't handle it. But they'll stick it out, and then their kids are totally falling apart. The heat has zapped their energy. They're exhausted, and they're losing their minds. And so by 6 and 7, they're taking their kids back to the hotel, back home, and they're done with the day. So consider it. Consider a midday break back at your hotel if you're visiting during the summer. I also like adding an extra day if you're visiting during the summer, just so you can take those midday breaks and not feel like you are missing out on really fun Disneyland time. So if you were going to go 3 days, maybe go 4 days and plan on a midday break each day. If you were going to go 4 days, go 5 days, plan on a midday break. Incidentally, if you're going to go 4 days, you need to get your tickets through Getaway Today, because if you buy their 4-day ticket, you get a 5th day free. So, free day at Disneyland, that's a good deal. So anyway, that's my little spiel on taking a break. Bringing fans and cooling towels are very, very helpful. I have this fan that I really like, but recently I tried one of those fans, like they fold out really big and you fan yourself with your hand. It's not an electronic fan. I don't know how to better describe it. It's just a fan. You can't see me, but I'm doing the action. It's a giant, like, paper fan. That's what I'm trying to say. A paper fan. You unfold it, and that thing will move a ton of air. I think I might just switch from my regular, like, portable rechargeable fan to one of these handheld fans, because they are awesome. And you don't have to charge them. They're really lightweight. There's a lot of benefits. But cooling towels have a lot of benefits too. I really like those. Definitely bring them. You're gonna be happy that you did. Another thing that you're going to want to do is arrive early, because it's not hot when you arrive early. It might be a little warmish, but guess what? It's going to get hotter. So I like to arrive early for rope drop in the summer, especially if I know I'm going back to the hotel to take a break. Then I will get there for rope drop, hit some of those bigger attractions, enjoy cooler temperatures, enjoy lower crowds. All of that's definitely very helpful. Using Genie Plus in the summer for me is kind of a must, because you're just going to be able to skip so many more lines. You're going to ride so many more things. And if you go back to your hotel for a midday break, you can book lightning lanes from your hotel that you can use later in the night. It's very, very convenient. Definitely, I use Genie Plus in the summer for sure. Of course, you're going to want to use like the mobile app for ordering food, that kind of thing. If you can avoid standing in lines, obviously we are going to do that. Now, I do have touring plans ready to go over on my website. I'll put a link in the show notes that you can just download and follow a step-by-step plan to your day. I think these are so helpful, especially if you don't visit Disneyland often and you're wanting to maximize your time. You don't want to spend hours and hours waiting in line. These will give you a step-by-step guide. I have them with Genie Plus and without Genie Plus. So definitely check those out. Very helpful. You can also take advantage of Grizzly River Run. The summer is about the only time that I like to ride Grizzly River Run. I still don't like being wet, though. So if I'm going to ride it, I will usually do it before I head back to the hotel for a break. And that way I can change my clothes. you get really wet on that one. So right now, Grizzly River Run is the only water ride this summer that you can enjoy because Splash Mountain is closed. They're changing it into Tiana's Bayou Adventure. So only Grizzly River Run, but that is a great one to cool off in the summer. The lines do get very long midday in the summer. That's the busiest time that you can do it. You could do single rider or you can use Genie Plus. Those are both great options. Now, when you head back in the evening, make sure you take advantage of the nighttime shows like we talked about. The Pixar Fest fireworks show is going to be going on. It's going to be awesome. You're going to love it. Nighttime entertainment is so much fun at Disneyland. And I also am going to put in a plug for staying late because the crowds the last 2 hours, if the park is open till midnight, are just as low as they are the first 2 hours of the day. So if you really want to maximize your time, you can rope drop for those first 2 hours, then stay late for the last 2 hours, and it's going to make a huge difference because a lot of people can't hack it. I'm one of those people. I usually can't hack it, but sometimes pull myself together. Like I'm going to stay the whole time. And every time I do, I'm always so impressed by how much I'm actually able to get done those last 2 hours because the wait times go way down. Although sometimes they don't look like they're down because Disney inflates wait times, especially at night. So maybe Big Thunder Mountain Railroad says it's a 45-minute wait, but you're really probably actually going to wait 15 minutes. Kind of sneaky. Another thing I like to do is take advantage of the cold treats because this is a good tip. If I ever have like an excuse to eat a cold treat at Disneyland, then I'm going to take it. If you're like, oh, well, it's so hot outside. I better have an ice cream cone. It's for my health because, I don't want to overheat. That makes a lot of sense to me, right? So take advantage of those cold treats and mobile order them whenever possible. They have the ice cream bars in the little vendor carts, and I didn't eat those for years. They have Mickey Mouse ice cream sandwiches, but then they have the Mickey Mouse ice cream bars, and I thought that it was just going to be like a little kid's treat and it wouldn't be very good at all. So wrong. I was so wrong. They are so good. Like this thick layer of chocolate, and it's delightful. You do need to let it thaw for a couple of minutes because they pack it in dry ice, so don't bite into that when it's rock hard. Don't want to do that. There's also a lot of places that sell slushy type drinks, which I know are really, really popular. There is one over across from Red Rose Tavern, a little cart that is a fruit cart, but they also sell frozen apple juice that is really yummy. It's very good. So if you are into slushy drinks, try that one. But they have slushy drinks all over the place. You can find those. I love to get ice cream from the Cozy Cone in Cars Land. It's soft serve ice cream, but I don't know what they do. It's just better. It's better at Disneyland. And it's good soft serve ice cream, not the kind that you get some places that is like fakey, icy ice cream. If you know what I'm talking about. This is good frozen ice cream. Oh man, it is good frozen ice cream though. 100%. All right, that is all the time I have for today. I hope this episode has been helpful. I hope it's given you some tips and tricks for visiting Disneyland during Grad Nites, visiting Disneyland during the summer. It's all going to be so fun. And actually, I'm feeling super excited about my summer trip now. I need to get it booked. I need to get it on the calendar. I think I'm going to go for like mid-August. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards. I know it's going to be really hot, but I think the crowds are going to be more manageable. That's what I'm banking on. Maybe I'll see you there mid-August. Let's make it happen. All right. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you have a wonderful week, whatever you're doing, whatever you're up to. I hope it's great. Thanks for taking a little bit of time to hang out with me today. Don't forget to leave a review. My review drive is closing at the end of April. Anybody who left a review during April is going to be entered to win a $50 Disney gift card. And I'm giving away 2 of them. I'm so excited to pick a winner. There's been so many great comments. You guys are amazing. All right. I will be back next week with something new. Thanks so much for listening. We'll talk soon.